Pakistani opposition leader Imran Khan has demanded an end to Pakistani military operations in the country's tribal areas. In a speech to students at King's College in London last night, he said the army operations were resulting in the deaths of large numbers of civilians and were serving to enrage the local population in the tribal belt. He also repeated his calls for the restoration of Pakistan's Chief Justice and criticised President Asif Zardari for failing to follow up on his pledges to restore the judiciary. Well, following the event, Islam Channel News' Hassan Ghani spoke to Imran Khan about the current situation in Pakistan. Here's what he had to say.
When the Chief Justice was initially removed from office, we saw massive protests on the streets of Pakistan. We don't tend to see that anymore. Has the movement for the reinstatement of the Chief Justice lost its momentum?
No, I think there's a gap now because the elections took place. People waited for a democratic government to reinstate the Chief Justice. And you will see now that finally the confusion has lifted and it's become apparent that the democratic government of Asif Zardari is not going to bring back the Chief Justice, and now you will see the movement start again.
Even before Zardari's party was elected, everybody knew, or most people knew, he was a corrupt figure. And you're saying that people are now more aware than they were before, following this whole Chief Justice debacle. Why are people still voting for parties like the PPP?
I think at the time the issue was not corruption. The issue was that the Chief Justice should be reinstated, independent justice system. People wanted an end to Musharraf era. People wanted democracy. People wanted the militancy in tribal area to be resolved through dialogue rather than military. And so they were the main issues. Now, of course, with Zardari doing exactly what Musharraf was doing, no democracy, no reinstatement of the Chief Justice, brutal use of the army against your own people. Now you will find people will focus on his corruption again, and the whole anger would be from Musharraf, it will be now shift to Zardari.
Pakistan has obviously suffered quite a lot because of its relationship with the US. In an ideal world, what would Pakistan's government's relationship be like with the US?
I think Pakistan should have helped the US in its war on terror, but the way to help it was not by creating more terrorists, by making it, rather than war on terror, war of terror, by creating so much hatred against the US and against the Pakistan army.
So how can Pakistan help in the war on terror then?
The only way to go about is through dialogue, to isolate the terrorists, not to push more people towards the terrorists, but to isolate them. Right now what is happening is that what were the Pashtun tribes, they are being pushed towards Taliban and the terrorists. In fact, even the Taliban were not terrorists. They should have isolated Al-Qaeda. This whole strategy was wrong, and Pakistan should have taken a stand rather than gone along with whatever the Americans wanted and really being a slave. They should have been friends.
Finally, in terms of Tehreek-e-Insaf, you boycotted the elections, obviously, and so you've lost your seat in Parliament. Has that left you in a weaker position now that you can't challenge the government from inside Parliament?
It was a dummy Parliament then, it's a dummy Parliament right now. Time has vindicated our decision to boycott the elections because the elections, if you look at them, they did not bring in democracy. They didn't bring in the judges back. They haven't empowered the Parliament. We still have a puppet Prime Minister. We still have a dummy Parliament. And what's more, where the public wanted to resolve the issues through dialogue, we still have military killing our own people. So nothing has changed. And that's why we wanted the judges' issue to be resolved and then the Musharraf's unconstitutional amendments to be done away with before the elections. Had that been done, we would not be in this position where we are back to square one.
Okay, Imran Khan, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.